We are live. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Welcome to Updates with Precious. It always sweets my belly to break down conversations we get to do with politics, governance, government policies, actions and inactions for pidgin English, especially as they take effect on. And I the work what they do here because every evening I they here to break these conversations down to honor. And I sure say I don't see me darkening by this evening with Barrister Sim. Barrister Sim, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very
And
much.
also joining us, also joining us is Mr. Shegun Shopito. Mr. Shegun Shopito, now one of Nigeria's finest financial and economists. The guy is sound well when a man we start. Mr. Shegun, thank you so much for obliging my invite this evening. It means a lot to me.
You are swelling my head. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it, sir. All right, so let's get started with the conversations today. We cannot start discussion today without speaking about Barrister Sim's friend, Wike. So Wike has been in the news, and it started with when Fubara went to submit budgets today before the 27 lawmakers, as they constantly lock him out of the assembly. They don't let him enter. So budget presentation, Fubara locked out of Rivers Assembly Complex. That's one of the conversations we have today. And then your letter to assembly is useless. Wike blast Fubara. That means now Wike now be the spokesperson of the 27 assembly members. Interesting, right? Okay. All right, then let's go to other issues concerning that. Wike held a press conference today on what he calls media chat today, where he says that Rivers, it is not a criminal offense if Fubara is impeached. Heaven no go fall if they impeach him. Anything will go happen, go happen. Okay, but we see Wike gives Fubara two conditions for peace, saying only these two things now you could do, make peace for him. He says that Amaewhule is avoiding him, refused to pick his calls, and did not respond to him or his letter. Okay, but then let's move to other issues. Regarding Natasha and Akpabio's issue, remember that Natasha had taken to the IPU, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, to seek for redress of waiting to her. But they can't look and they don't listen to her finish. The president of the IPU said, "No worry, we don't hear your matter, but we're not going to talk anything until we hear from the other party." All right, so we could see how that matter go use fall out too. But anger as Herdsen bandits killed 42 in Benue, Nasarawa, and Ondo State. And yesterday it was in the news that about 900 and something people have died just in January alone in terror-related attacks in Nigeria alone in January. About 1,000 people. Today now, 40-something herdsmen. Okay. You just be wondering, now the same herdsmen where they follow Malu, I've been another kind of herdsmen again. But then let's move on. We're eating our bags, belts. Minister decries neglect of leather industry. Mr. Shegun, you know, say this one at your department. So you can't tell us how they promote the way with the chop translates to our bags and shoes. Okay, Fubara should be impeached if found guilty. I think we've gone past that conversation. Okay, and a lot concerning that conversation. Pro-Wike lawmakers resume sitting at Rivers Assembly after shutting Fubara down. Now, allegation of budget padding against Natasha is a cheap blackmail. This is according to group. And they will also look at Nigerian government unveiling new economic plan, plus Nigeria targeting 7% GDP growth beyond projected 4.6% GDP growth. This is according to Finance Minister. And what is the implication? We'll just hear GDP growth. What will be the implication? How this GDP won't translate to how things will use better for Nigerians, because that's what most Nigerians would want to hear. But let's begin with the drama that ensued today before the Rivers State House of Assembly, as the governor of the state went to present his budget today, and he says that Amaewhule is avoiding him and that he's written, there is no response. He's tried to call, even personally as a governor, there is no response. Say he don't try impossible best to see whether peace could reign. But it be like say the peace way in the wait make it rain, the peace no green rain at all. And then he did say quite a lot, especially because people narrowed this to how it was him who perhaps locked them out last year of the assembly. Now this year now then call the lock out of the assembly, because say it be like say what goes around comes around at the end of the day. Yes. Would also be looking at that conversation. And Sim Fubara did say a lot. I wish I can play some of the sound bites of what he said so that would put a perspective to that conversation. He did mention how he has made efforts to make peace because he wants to comply to the judgment of the Supreme Court, but there's no one here inside of the story. But let me take a reaction to that, Well, you they laugh because you don't know your juries now.
Now my area, this is my area. First of all, good evening, Nigerians. I think what is playing out in Rivers State is something I saw this, happening long time ago. Yes. Very long time ago.
So you knew it was going to come
I knew it was going to be like this. I followed everything from election date. When Sim was elected as governor of Rivers State, I was the spokesperson to Labour Party candidate gubernatorial Beatrice Itubo in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. I was outspoken against, the position and foisting of a particular Siminalayi Fubara on the people of Rivers State.
So he was foisted on the people of Rivers
State? Of course. Of course, because then I was the spokesperson for Beatrice Itubo. It's on record.
Who was the Labour Party?
Who was the Labour candidate? I participated in the elections or the war. Let me use the word war that brought, Siminalayi Fubara to the seat of governor in Rivers State. I also met Sim and other candidates in a popular hotel in Port Harcourt when they were to hold a debate. Then I went with my candidate, for that particular debate. I saw the arrogance as at that time that was so palpable, both
arrogance on both sides now.
But not on both sides. Sim? From Sim and his camp.
Oh wow, Sim was arrogant.
They were so sure that to the extent he said he is the next governor of Rivers State.
But that was because he had Wike's backing now.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And even when we were trying to pontificate and try to sermonize on why we feel that, see, you cannot impose, him on us. Give the space, options. Give the electorates options for them to choose. But we were bamboozled, we were harangued, and our consciences were manacled, and the political firmament and environment stifled and militarized. I'm using these words consciously as somebody who participated. Are you aware that executive orders were churned out by Nyesom Wike as governor of Rivers State
to favor Sim?
To stifle the political environment in Rivers State to favor Sim? Are you aware? I am aware. I did a memo on behalf of RIPSCO, Rivers State Civil Society Organization, headed by Nefaya Godwin. If he's listening, then we can attest. Where Executive Order 21 was to be what? Enacted through the assembly. They brought, bills that advertisement, you cannot advertise, not getting permission from the governor's office.
So that opposition parties will not be able to.
And if you do that 5 million naira for the application, how many people could afford that? We fought against it. I did a memo to the House of Assembly. When it was to be presented, the day RIPSCO were to present it to the then House of Assembly, by 10, 11 o'clock, they told us that the law has been passed. It now became a law in Rivers State. To the extent that you cannot even go and campaign in public spaces. While other parties were prevented from campaigning in public places, the People's Democratic candidate, now governor of Rivers State, aided by his arch enemy today, were hobnobbing, globetrotting, in glutoneering, fashion, while we were looking with fear and trepidations. And today, look at them. Are they not on the other side? They are quarreling as daggers drawn. So I am not surprised. So when these things are not happening, we were looking from very far that my candidate, Beatrice Itubo, at that time, was almost assassinated. People are aware. We are not saying they are the ones that caused it.
The Labour Party
candidate. The Labour Party candidates. On the day of election, I was an agent. Even though I was not paid by Labour Party, I participated, and for 3 days I was on the field. I saw where ballot boxes were being snatched and destroyed, mutilated, and results announced. Even my own ward, I still have the results on my phone that we won. On the election day, they said they won that particular area. Even the RAC Center at Obiakpo, for those of us who were interested political party members to go there, we were disallowed from going there. All because Nyesom Fubara was to be made the governor of Rivers State. And today it has happened. So why will I cry for Argentina? As the case may be. So if you have ridden on the tiger's tail, then be rest assured that the day the tiger is very hungry and there is no animal around him to eat or meat for him to consume, he's going to flip you over and devour you. That is what now happened, as the case may be. I want to say with due respect that most of the people who are supporting Nyesom Fubara today were my arch enemies. When I was analyzing in Rivers State and I was talking, most of them were for Nyesom Wike. They were supporting him. They were telling us that we don't know what we are saying, to the extent that they asked me to leave Rivers State and go to my state. So these are things that's come. But today, the transmogrification, the vicissitude of political lithosphere has been foisted on the people, who are those to bear the brunt. Because when two elephants fight, it is the grass that will suffer. Now, governance has been kept in abeyance for months in Rivers State. And you can find out that the Rivers State government right now, the governor cannot sit and govern the state properly because he's scared, because there's a dark cloud hanging over his head, as the case may be. Now coming to what happened or transpired today. In law, there's what we call infradig effarte. That is a particular dignity that the governor should possess. I felt that the office of the governor is an edifying and dignifying office. But today, I think it was lobotomized. Today, it was like a comic show. Today, it was like a jilted lover trying to go back to his former lover to beg him and say, please forgive me. And the door was not shut against that particular lover. So this is what is happening in Rivers State. It's sad that it has come to that level. That the governor is not saying, I was locked out. I asked the question, who can lock a governor out of his own state?
Is that even legal in the first place?
No, I'm asking. When the king is a jester, the palace now becomes a circus. That is exactly what is happening in Rivers State today. If you have political lobotomy in Rivers State, then the atmosphere, whatever happens politically there, it's going to be like a circus. You have this kind of appearance and people carry mic and carry people around and say, I was locked out of the house. I've never heard that kind of thing. It is the level of politics that they have played that got to this level. That is why you find out that this kind of a thing is happening. And people are going to swallow it hook, line, and sink.
But is it constitutionally right for the governor to be locked out of an assembly complex as the governor of the state?
See,
shouldn't he have the constitutional right to access the assembly complex?
See, you see, anything can happen in Nigeria political Serengeti. Nigeria political Serengeti is like the real Serengeti. There are no laws apart from the law of survival. That is why a lion can wake up in the morning and slaughter a goat or a cow, and no policeman will come and arrest him and say you have committed murder. The only law that survives the Serengeti is that of survival. So in the political atmosphere in Nigeria, not just Rivers State, is survival of the fittest. If you say they locked him out, he locked them out the last time. Was it not the same governor that went there to bring down the House of Assembly? In Edo State, a former governor too went there, use bulldozer to bring things down, and he succeeded. In Nigeria, we have seen where 3 members of a 32 House of Assembly, now deliberate over a budget of a state of about 5.something million people, and they don't even have conscience to ask to say, no, this is not proper. Why can't 3 of us eat the food meant for 32 people?
Well, that's for a reason, because the Constitution states it correctly.
Correct. See, you ask them to uphold, I'm sorry I just saying happened. You have to ask them to uphold the rule of law. The Constitution never in any way envisaged where minority will rule over the majority.
But how about the stake of a Supreme Court judgment that stipulates that somebody who leaves his party to another party automatically loses that?
That goes.
But that was what played out.
No, you are assuming you are being judgmental.
Hey.
Even those who said so were being judgmental. Even when I said no, some said it was self-executing. Some said it was not self-executing. And I said that, in my own opinion, that the courts, the judiciary, by virtue of the Constitution, are those who are to determine this. And it came to that the judiciary and judicature have to decide, rightly or wrongly, as the case may be, to interpret what that particular section meant, as the case may be. And they have done it. So this is the situation we find ourselves. So I have seen situations where in foreign land, a government official walks to a place where things are being done wrongly, say, no, I cannot participate in this perfidy. He will tell you, I'm working out until things normalize. Then you begin to do whatever you want to do as case. But in Nigeria here, the zero-sum power game we play, the winner takes it all, happened in Rivers. So that's why the governor had to recognize 3 people, and those 3 or 4 members were happy with him, jollificating and pepper souping with him on a daily basis. They didn't mind whether other areas were ostracized or thrown out. They don't care. They didn't even come out to even call the National Assembly to see if they can invoke Section 11 sub 4 of the 1999 Constitution that says that if the House of Assembly is unable to perform its duties for this and like this particular one that we have, where 3 people were now making laws for 5.6 million people, the result would have been had to Section 11 sub 4 that says that the House of Assembly should begin to make laws for that particular state, pending when other members of the House of Assembly elections are conducted and sworn in. But nobody wants to raise that particular Section 11. But tomorrow you say the Constitution has no verbs. Section 11 is very clear. And even Section 11 would have been safer for a Nyesom Fubara. Because if the House of Reps were to be making laws for Rivers State presently, he can pass the budget to them, Commissioner TTC, and under that Section 11 sub 4 sub 1 also says that yes, the House of Assembly can never think of impeaching him. That is the House of Reps, can never think of impeaching him if Section 11 sub 4 is invoked.
The same National Assembly that is controlled by Wike's allies.
No,
that's another problem.
The House of Reps. If you take it to that place,
but there's an insinuation that both Akpabio and he's the head of the entire National Assembly.
Test the law. Let us test the law.
So
we must have to test the law in this country. See, whether it goes rightly or wrongly, we are learning. Democracy will be boisterous and better for all of us. But let us test the law. Don't say because it belongs to. Let us see it clearly that yes, Wike controls the Senate and even controls the whole world. He's the Alpha and Omega. He's the Alpha and Omega in Nigerian politics. Let us see it. Don't speculate. Don't conjecture.
Thank you. So, Mr. Shopito, going round to some things, Wike held a media chat today. He did say quite a lot of things. He said it's not a criminal offense for him to be impeached. That, as a matter of fact, that Sim has committed impeachable offenses and has got to be impeached. But you do recall that, before I go to speak too much English, that some of my brothers inside Niger Delta don't dey vex. The Asawana boys, them don't dey vex. Say, what's his name? Asari Dokubo stated it clearly that creating this narrative, I'll be creating this scenario again. Now, Peter Odili, in this present-day democracy, ruled for 8 years. Peter Odili is from upland part of River State. Chibuike Amechi ruled for 8 years. He's from the upland part of River State, Ikwere, the same jurisdiction with Nyesom Wike. When Nyesom Wike came, ruled for 8 years. Again, that is the Nyesom Wike's faction or the side of River State have ruled for 16 years. Because that was why Amechi wanted Dakuku Peter side to take over from him, in that Dakuku is from the riverine area. Now, Wike toppled that election, won, and then ruled for 8 long years. Now, it is the time for the riverine people. They say that the majority of the oil deposits in River State, at least, is with the river, is within the riverine community. And they suffer most the environmental degradation therein. So they are saying that this is our own turn now to rule as Ijaw people. Now, you want to nobody dictated for Wike, nobody dictated for Amechi, those Ikwere men. Why do you now want to lord over an Ijaw man when it is his time to rule? He tried, but you made it impossible with the stringent measures we put in place. He tried again, and you made it impossible. Now the young men are saying that we're going back to the creek, and they are saying a lot of things about bursting pipelines, doing it. In fact, saying that River State will be ungovernable. Wike is saying that Sim will be impeached, and nothing will happen. Because once the federal government takes over power in River State, the right thing only will be done. What do you think would happen to the economy of Nigeria and River State should Sim's impeachment goes through? Mr. Shokwiso, can you hear me?
Okay, thanks, Precious. Can you hear me?
Thank you, sir. Yes, very well. Crystal Clay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. I can hear you. Yeah. I think your network is a bit draggy. Okay, go ahead, sir.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Very well. I can hear you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you, sir. We can hear you. Yes.
Look, okay. So this whole thing is, yeah. Okay. This whole thing is very unfortunate. You know, I've listened to my brother talk very patiently, but I have to say that I think his perspective dwells significantly on the politics. You know, the politics at play, you know, in River State between Nyesom Wike and Fubara, and all of the forces aligning, you know, in support or against one or the other, from you are leaning towards. But for me, you know, I would rather not dwell on the politics. I want to look at the governance issues and how it affects, you know, the ordinary Rivers person, and how it affects Nigeria. Because as we all know, the economy of Nigeria still relies heavily on oil revenues, especially our foreign exchange earnings. You know, if we talk about just general revenues, okay, the revenue profile of the federal government in particular is beginning to shift, and we're beginning to see a bit of a balance between the oil revenues in our political play, that somebody who has not been elected by the people of River State has the capacity to create so much mayhem and to create so much distraction in River State. I understand the political angle of Wike saying he doesn't want to lose his political structure. You know, nobody is going to close his eyes and see the empire that he has built over however number of years, you know, his feet. But you cannot pursue your personal political ambitions and personal agenda to the detriment of the state that you claim to come from and love, and especially to the detriment of the country. And I think for me, this is real. I expected that the president of the country would have been more unbiased when he waded into this issue, and would have simply asked everybody to follow constitutional order. all of this, let's not forget that all of this has originated from Wike, the minister Wike insisting on, hanging on to control of Rivers State, and the fact that Nyesom Fubara is independence, the same way that Wike fought Amaewhule to a standstill, and the same way Wike is speaking, very funny about Peter Odili today. So what goes around comes around. From the political point of view, Wike needs to understand that you can't sacrifice the interest of the entire country because of your personal political ambition. And I think that everybody that is observing this must seek to call him to order. Now you raised a good point, Precious. Now all of a sudden, a Niger Delta region that when there was unrest in the days of Yaradua, in the final days of Obasanjo, and during Yaradua's presidency for a significant period. And then when the President Buhari came on board, we saw what happened again with his divisive rhetoric that resulted in instability in the southeast and the south as well, until Vice President or acting President Yemi Osinbajo was able to go in there and again arrange some sort of peace deals that resulted in the kind of peace that has seen our oil production grow steadily to the point where we're stopped 0.05 or maybe 2.1 before the end of this year. Imagine what would happen if the militants, if they take up arms again and they take sides and they start blowing things up and start fighting themselves, and we have some sort of a civil war. And this is not, it's not an implausible potential outcome. We have to recognize that this is a risk that we're taking, and Wike is not God. He can't claim to have exclusive control of all of the factors and all of the forces that are at play in Rivers State. We cannot, because of people's personal political ambition, throw everything overboard, throw the baby and the bathwater into the gutter, and economic fortune is tied. And we have a lot of instability that we're dealing with already. We're only just beginning to find some sort of balance with inflation, with exchange rates, and all of that. And then now you want to throw this. This thing is escalating. It's getting worse slowly, and I think that the actors need to be called to order. If political actors defect from a party, the constitution is clear. The Supreme Court ruling, for me, I'm not a lawyer. My brother in the studio is a lawyer. But for me as a layman, but not just an ordinary layman, as an observer of the political developments in the country, governance, I was taken aback. I was shocked. I didn't know that you have to show a party register to prove that you have defected from one party or another. In fact, has played a fast role. We have in it that these guys have defected and that there was no basis for that defection. And the constitution is clear that when that happens, you lose your seat. So we mustn't lose sight of the simple principles of justice, natural justice in dealing with this issue. So we can't take our political opinions and leanings and muddy the water and fail to rightly divide these issues and relate with it appropriately so that we can call up parties and then they can decide to go to the crease again and start blowing things up. The president has to try not to stay aloof because he is thinking about 2027 and the electoral value of Wike. Everything is not about politics. You have to think about the common good and the national interest above all else. I think that's the way I would look at it. We can't allow all of this to devolve Nigeria into some sort of wild west, very unfortunate events that we have seen, leading up to all the coups and all of that. We can't have a wild west where there's just complete pandemic state. We have to be very careful. So
thank you.
Everybody, whether you're on the wicked side or Fubara side, we've got to keep our eyes focused on the big picture.
Okay. So the network kept interjecting your conversation, but I'd like to understand, are you saying that there is a possibility indeed
so we have a network problem.
There is indeed a possibility that if this continues like this, is going to be a big problem? That is, the young men are likely going to go back to the creeks if this continues. Is that what you're saying, sir? Hello, sir, are you there? Hello. Okay, so would you like to react to some of the things you say? Would you like to react to some of the things you mentioned? Unfortunately, we can't hear you clearly.
I got
just keep it short.
Okay. Apologies. So the network kept interjecting. We couldn't just hear you. It kept breaking your thoughts.
Go ahead.
I was asking if you're saying that there is a possibility that the Ateketoms of this world and their group, the Suboma Jakri, the name of this world and their groups, the Asari Dokobos of this world and their group may likely go back to the creek if this tension escalates or continues, or if indeed Wike pulls through by getting Sim impeached. Hello, Mr. Shagun, are you there? Mr. Shapito, rather. Are you there, sir? This network is getting the worst of us. His network is.
If anything happens to Fubara, they are going to the creeks. Sorry, the network is not helping matters. But they are going to the creeks. They've made it clear, and we have to be careful. We can't just wave them aside and say there's nothing they can do.
Okay, so he made quite some point. Would you like to quickly react to some of the points he made?
Well, he made very valid points, but I want to just say, with due respect, that the militants, or whatever they call themselves, ex-militants, as the case may be, should know that if you like, you blow your pipelines. If you like, you do whatever you want to do. Your situation in the Niger Delta will not change. It has never changed.
So now yourself, they do.
Yeah, yourself, they do.
Hey, wait.
You even more impoverish that particular area because of Sim, Fubara, and Wike. In the next 3, let's even give them 5-6 years time, they might exit the political space. Either Fubara is now ex-governor, joining Wike as ex-governor, or they are now old. And you young men who are in your 30s that blew up your refineries, blew up whatever you want to blow up, Nigeria will still exist. If you blow up the one in Bayelsa and the rivers, will Akwa Ibom blow their own? Will Delta blow? These are the things. Don't join the fight of two political people who they don't even mean well for you. Forget the fact that they are from your ethnic tribe, as the case may be, or your ethnic nation or nationality. If Jonathan was president of Nigeria for 6-7 years, how did the Niger Delta region fare under him as president?
How did Daura fare under president?
How did Daura fare under Buhari? How did the North fare under Esho Shagari, Babangida, and the rest of them? How did these regions fare when they had their people in power? The Southwest, how did the Southwest fare when they had Obasanjo in power? You see, this divide and rule that is being employed by politicians to bring you people to war and begin to fight. I want to tell you what Herodotus, a Greek philosopher, said about war and youths. He warned people like you. He said, in peacetime, sons.
By people like you mean Mr. Shepito?
No. I mean, not you, sir. Okay. I mean the Niger Delta militants.
Oh, okay.
Not him.
Just to be clear.
Please, it's not you, sir. Not you, sir. I'm talking about the people who are threatening war.
Okay.
Who are threatening to blow down everywhere. Herodotus is a philosopher. He warned youths about war, going to war. He said that in peacetime, sons bury their fathers. At least you want to see your father get old, and as a son, you go and bury your father. But in wartime, fathers bury their sons. I don't know if you are getting that. 2 is that he also warned and said that the old people and politicians create war. They don't fight it. It is the youth that will carry gun to the creek and begin to fight themselves. Yes, so Wike has his own people who are supporting some Ikwere ethnic nationality. If you just say they want to blow up their pipeline in their area, the Ikweres who are supporting yes, Wike will say, okay, we are going to blow up the whole Port Harcourt and nobody's going to come in there. So that becomes a war that, in fact, it is you and I that will bear it. Because these people will use helicopter to fly over you and your refinery and your bombs and go to Abuja and London while you begin to bomb your creek and bomb our mothers and our fathers who could not and cannot even feed today. In the Niger Delta, you people did not bomb, badges and whatever with the palpable hunger that we have, unemployment in the land. The Niger Delta is a dejected and rejected area right now in terms of development. You didn't bomb to have Niger Delta be like Dubai. You are not bombing because of Nyesom Fubara and Wike Field. I mean, you have to think above, the normal whatever right now as the case may be. I am not saying that what is happening in River State is good, but there are ways you can dialogue. Abdallah Okalan, I'll tell you the youths again. I want to talk to you youths that say you want to go and fight. Because it's not old men that will go and carry bomb on their waist and bomb places. Youths like those of you. Abdallah Okalan, who is a master and a strategist in terrorism and war and whatever the case may be, came one day recently and said, he wrote a poem and said, we have used bombs, we have used guns, we have used amulets or whatever we call it, force to see if we can get this done. But it has not worked for us for decades. Now it is time for us to use ideas. Instead of bombing, why don't you come together, hold a colloquium, and bring Wike, bring Nyesom Fubara and say, look, this is beyond ethnic nationalism or whatever. Can we dialogue? Can we sit down and talk? After all, it is politics that they are playing. The day Wike selected Nyesom Fubara, you were not there. They selected themselves because they needed to gain personally from each other. Wike saw, a sim as somebody he could use to feather his own nest. A sim saw a Wike as a man he could use to glide to prominence and power. So they came together in a symbiotic relationship, not for your interests. It is for their interests, their personal interests. So if you want to go and bomb, I am telling you that it will not affect, what is going to happen in River State. They are still going to be richer. Their children will still go to schools in the UK and Belgium, wherever. Whereas it is you and I that will be looking at the smoldering, hot buildings in our neighborhood. Polluted waters will be taken by us. We can't have water to wash our clothes. Even today, they don't even drink pure water like you and I drink. It is bottled water from France that they drink. Now, if you now pollute the creek again by bombing, it is as the case may be, it means that even pure water will never see to drink. So you have to draw your ears.
So the point is that is it that there is no way that Wike can just calm down and allow simple issues?
You cannot clap with one hand. You cannot clap with one hand. You clap with your two hands.
How do you mean?
Now, what am I saying? Ukraine and Russia, they have been fighting war. Something caused a war.
Okay.
We are saying that a particular party is belligerent. And in this case, a lot of people are saying that, except me, a lot of people are saying that Wike is the aggressor. But I don't think so.
Why do you not
think
so?
No, that will be a discussion another day.
Okay.
Now, if he's the aggressor, then he's not trying to put Nyesom Fubara on his toes or whatever the case may be. Now, what now happens? It's so come, somebody has to mediate. I mean, you saw what Donald Trump did recently. He called Zelensky and spoke to this other person that said, come, these are the good things you have to do if you fight this war, this is what is going to happen. The
but
two of them
did not agree.
That's what I'm saying. But somebody has to be there and say, talk this, let me be very
but
straightforward.
presidents even talk. Wait, now, Fubara claimed that he kept to his part of bargain from president.
That is what he said.
Fubara is also, and Wike is also saying he too kept to his
That's
part
right.
of
That is what he said.
So what do we want to do now? When the two of them,
the two of them, and what in my own candidate opinion is this: the Rivers people should snatch power from the two of them and let people rule.
How the Rivers people take them?
How the Rivers people should do it is this: the Rivers people can come together and say, Wike, the Fubara, we are tired of this your feud. The two of you know how you came to power, and we ask you to exit. Let a people-oriented person come. Give peace a chance. Okay. At least by 2027. Let us decide a people-oriented governor for Rivers State. You and this person will go and sit down.
So from now,
and let the interest of people be primemost.
So between now and 2027, nothing would happen.
Would
hand over the power back to Wike again.
No,
because that's what it's looking like right now.
Over to Wike.
Leaving Amaewhule to do what he's doing, it means that Wike is in charge. That's
no, that is not true. That is not true. If you not let Sim rule also, it's like you're giving Sim the power. And
so what do we do?
What we have to do now is dialogue. Elders of Rivers State should come out. In Yoruba land, I saw what happened in Oyo State. Elders of statesmen, you don't become a statesman for nothing. Where are the orderlies? Where are people like Amechi?
Rufus Ada George just spoke recently.
No, what of Rufus Ada George? You see why people don't listen to them? The reason why people don't listen to them because they are partisan.
Oh.
If you look at dealing with maybe side same, the other one we side Wike. So when statesmen who are supposed to be neutral, who ought to be politically dead, like Abraham Lincoln said, that a statesman is he who is politically dead. Anything he do or does, he does not put politics in it. So the statesmen we say we have in Rivers State are not truly statesmen, they are politicians. A statesman should come out and say, look, this is the truth of the matter, please. For the sake of the people, for the sake of Rivers State, I want us to talk. You tell the truth as it is. Then if one of the parties is not taking on adhering to the truth, as been said genuinely from your heart, then the people will not deal with that particular person. But in this case, look at what happens. Ordinarily, we come and go and visit him and incite him. The other one will come and go and visit Nyesom Wike and incite him. Then he will not come out openly and talk. Then we know that, if he's talking, he's a weak man, we don't listen to him. But we have those of them who are neutral in these particular issues. Why can't those people come out and talk? Let these elders be neutral and call these two sons together and say, look, you cannot burn Rivers State. You cannot bring Rivers State down because of, fight for political power, personal power. Why can't you, come together and round table, let us talk? I've asked this question a number of times. Where are the Omeyas of this world? Where are the Osinokparas of this world? Where are the Limebas of this world? As the case may be, assuming that Mechi and the rest are not even participating because they are partisan. Where are those people? What of Ambassador Desmond Akao and the rest of them? Where are they? Can they come out and tell these two parties the truth for the sake of Rivers State? Don't come out and support Wike, then you now go and support Sim. You are exacerbating the whole situation as the case may be. There should be neutral people that can settle this matter between these two young people. The president has tried. Let's assume the president is not from the Niger Delta as it is. It is not from the Niger Delta. But he has tried his best, calling them to Abuja to see if he can resolve it before. They did not agree. Maybe it can be the clergies, bishops, it can be principals or traditional rulers of Rivers State origin gathering somewhere in Port Harcourt and say, please, we are the clergies and we are the traditional rulers and the elders of the communities. We want to settle this matter between these two sons of ours.
All right. So
they are not doing that.
So if you look at the issue, Mr. Shokwito, if you look at this issue now, you notice that since the Supreme Court judgment, the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, he's made efforts to try to obey the Supreme Court judgment. He wrote to the House of Assembly members for a meeting on Monday. They did not oblige him. They did not respond to him. He wrote that he was coming to present the budget before them today. They did not respond to him after they had given him for the 8 hours ultimatum. And then if you look at the history of all of this, local government chairmen have insulted him and called him idiot, lunatic. Because this is the first time really in Nigeria I am hearing people insult a governor so openly like this. And what happened? You know now, I be alive.
No, I won't say you are.
Maybe now with my small age.
I know, not say so.
So if you also look at what happened today in the national, why he tried to present the budget, it was more like an international embarrassment to the governor. So how can this eventually, do you see them looking for, a way out of this situation? Would you say that Wike has actually done well enough? And what role should the president play at this time, really? Because it's really heartbreaking. At the end of the day, they say when two grass the fight. Now I left and they suffer more. Now my rivers people now they suffer this, and I want to make it pain me. Go ahead, sir. I just hope Network will let you speak. Maybe after this.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think I hope Network will allow me. I hope Network will allow me this time.
I hope it does. I hope it does. Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I think that Wike, I like how my brother, my co-panelist has spoken, and he spoke really well. I just want him, as he has spoken to the youth of Rivers State and told them the implications of fighting, of destroying their own land, their own, cities, their villages, their creeks, killing each other, on behalf of people that will get on a plane whose families are not even in Nigeria. They're not in Rivers State. Some of them, their families are not even in Abuja or Lagos. They're abroad, they're in the UK or in the US. You spoke very well, sir. I want you to direct a similar package speech to Wike, in particular, to Fubara, and to President Tinubu. Because I tell you, this thing is not going to end until especially President Tinubu and Wike decides to back off. The governor has seen the handwriting on the wall. He was just like, you gave the analogy of Ukraine and Russia. Sim Fubara is pretty much in a Ukrainian situation right now where he is being bombarded left, right, and center. Territory is being taken from him. And his only recourse, which in this case, in this example and analogy, would have been the Supreme Court, is saying, back off. And he has done so. So what more can we ask of Fubara? Now, the people that need to calm down and recognize that they have won some sort of moral victory and that Fubara has been tamed to a certain degree is Wike and the president. They need to back off and allow peace reign. The State House of Assembly, whatever they're doing today, they're not doing it of their own will, of their own volition. They are playing out a script, and we all know it. So the script writers, the puppet masters, the puppeteers should please back off and allow peace to reign in Rivers State. I know Network is not allowed, so I'll just try and keep it short like that. We need to address a speech to the people in Abuja to leave Rivers State alone. You are muted, Precious. You are muted. You are muted.
All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
great. So
yes.
Before I let you go very quickly, I'd like us to look at what the economy generally. We'll get back to politics with Barrister Adamson. We'll let you go. So the coordinating minister of the economy, Wale Edo, had said that our GDP has left 4.5% and is approaching 7%. And Nigerians want to understand because things are still hard. Sir, they like to ask you, may help me break down within the apple points in Nigeria, so that we can understand. This GDP where they say don't they won't come up like this, and foreign reserve we don't be swell up like this. How did things suppose this translates to better the lives of Nigerians? Reason I'm asking this is for the past couple of weeks, dollar has been a bit low to about 1,004 something, 1,005 something. It never passed like that. But Mr. Shokito, the drugs I used to buy like 12,000 naira is now 19,000 naira.
It's more than that.
So how come dollar is lower? But prices of things are not coming down. And GDP is improving. But prices of things, no, they come down. Hardship still there very severe. I want to understand what is going on. Let Nigerians understand how this thing that's saying that, oh, the president's economic plan is improving and it will help us. You know, say be financial experts. Help us put a perspective to it before we move to Natasha's issue and we'll let you go, please. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so very quickly, again, I hope the network allows. Look, you make a very good point. And
I do hope, sir.
Politicians will always do politics. Yeah, politicians will always do politics. And at the end of the day, Wale Edu is a politician. You know, we might try to pretend and say he's a technocrat, but the truth of the matter is that he's there at the behest of the president because he supported the president during the election. There's no other reason. His reward for support. Yes, of course, we agree that he's competent as a person. You know, but he's a politician. Yeah, it's a political packaging. They're just packaging, you know, the situation in the country to try and make it look good. And I guess
so that means nothing is actually happening in our economy. Not just part of the
things are getting. No, I won't say things are getting better. There is a certain level of stability that we're beginning to see, that if the president and his team take the right action, can lead us further into a situation where the damage they did with their own hands can be repaired. So now the problem, you see, the reason that we're not seeing reduction in prices is that the reduction in exchange rates that you saw is momentary. How long now? It's still about 2 weeks or 3 weeks that this thing declined to maybe 1,490, and it's back at 1,580 as I speak to you. So the reduction was very small for a very short period. So, you know, meanwhile, the people that are buying drugs, precious, they are still holding stock. It never reached. They're still holding drugs. They're still holding drugs. Sorry, they're still holding drugs that they bought when exchange rate was 1,007. They never sell and finish until when they sell and finish, and then exchanging drugs cheaper before you and I will buy cheaper drugs. If you see exchange rate just drop just for 1 week, 2 weeks, and then it goes back up, and you expect prices to reduce, it won't happen. No. So all of these things that Wale Edu is talking is window dressing. For us to see improvement in the quality of the lives of Nigerian people, there has to be significant improvement in this economic indicator. It is not mouth. You are not going to use mouth to say, oh, things are improved. GDP was 3.4 for this past year, and that's too small. It's too low. Even if you achieve 4.6, it's too low. You need to be doing GDP of 10% before Nigerians will feel it in our pockets. So all of this packaging way they do, my sister, it's not getting us anywhere.
Okay, so speaking about packaging, there are a few confusions that I have. Remember, during that end bad governance protest, the president, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
if you remember, before the end bad preparation, okay, the preparation to the end bad governance protest, the president be making national broadcast where he assure Nigerians say, Ingo make sure say Ingo put duty waiver to some things like some grains and then some pharmaceutical products and all of those, so that Nigerians go fit afford them. What do you mean economically? Say a president of a country stand for national broadcast, promise Nigerians that kind of thing. Till today, they're not fulfill them. Till today, not one item has been imported duty free. He promised he was going to do that for I think 150 days window. Till now, he hasn't done that. And then again, just hold on. Remember that the new on our new bill, we assigned, we consigned on the economy, on a tax reform bill, has it that I think they wanted to disempower some government agencies from tax collection, like customs and all that. So it was supposed to be FIRC that would collect the taxes. But people like customs say, no, FIRC, we don't want more to collect. No worry, go feed them. In fact, they now gave them target of 12 trillion naira. The Ingrid said they go fit me to 12 trillion. No vex, okay? Right now, I have it in full information that most importers are being taxed heavily by customs because of that 12 trillion naira targets that they have to meet up to impress government. At the end of the day, if importers gather those money, they go pass them on again to Nigerians. Will that make life any easier for Nigerians? So these are the things we're talking about. How will soccer come? How will things look better if there are more and more policies that try to make things more difficult? They just announced that they're going to likely increase Band B and C electricity tariff. That will lead to another inflation again altogether. So what are we going to do? What are the clear-cut policies that this administration is putting in place to ensure that things are, a bit, people have soccer, or Nigerians have soccer? Go ahead, sir. Forgive me for being passionate, but I get billings every day from people.
Let me give you. No, it's okay. No,
go ahead.
We're both passionate. You know that when I start talking about this thing, I can't really control my tone. My voice will just begin to increase because the thing is paining me, right? Look, let me give you one example of what we can do and what we have already done. What we have already done, that we are only supposed to reap the benefits, but because of personal interest of certain people whose name you and I know, and I will not mention, we are not doing the things we need to do. So is that personal interest of powerful people is more important than the welfare of Nigerians. We have a refinery today, Precious, that can refine all of the petrol that we need in this country.
They don't stop to give them food for Naira now.
NNPC
refinery, they don't stop to give them food for Naira.
Whether those things are working. So that's part of the problem. Now we have a refinery now. Imagine, look, Precious. If Dangote refines uses his full, if Dangote refines his full capacity and produces petrol locally, and we're not importing anymore, exchange rate, my own calculation as a financial expert, exchange rate will drop to at least 1,200. Just on the back of that alone, exchange rate will drop to 1,200 because the demand for dollars to import Precious, we're importing crude oil into this country. Dangote is importing crude oil into Nigeria to refine.
Yes.
So if we take away the importation of
the dollar, the effort he uses to do that.
Exactly. So the demand on dollars will disappear. About 40% demand on dollars will go away. If 40% demand on dollar goes away, Precious, exchange rate will come down very well. It will come down maybe even 1,000. So why is the president not doing this? Why are we still importing petrol from Malta? Why? So those are the problems. So you can take this example and spread it across the different sectors of the economy. Duty waivers, preferential government patronage to certain people. Those are the things that are still happening. Until we take those things away and we make policies that are designed to make the people's lives better, things are going to get worse. It's just very unfortunate, but that's the reality. So the policies that we're making today are not designed for the people. They are designed to look good economically and on paper, while the lives of the people are not really improving. So those are the questions that we need to keep asking.
So whether we're eating all our belts and handbags, whether we're eating all our leather belts and handbags as for more or not, all of those is insignificant compared to what government has to do or needs to do to help the economy. Is that what you're saying?
They're not send us. Not send us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chapter. Let me let you go. Thank you so much. I do look forward to you joining me at a better day that would have better network to enlighten people more, better, have a clear conversation on what's going on in our economy, because my job is to educate and enlighten people on things that they need to know. Because not be just to speak big grammar. They don't understand the Naira and Kobo, where they, the down part of what's they involved for the conversation. I appreciate you big time for joining me, sir. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Do have a great evening. Thank you. No. Before you go, it be like saying you never go. Never go. I would like you to jump in on this Akpabio Natasha issue, please, because Barrister Tim is here, and Barrister Tim is a pro Akpabio in this conversation. So I like you to jump on this Natasha Akpabio conversation. Now, it's almost causing an international embarrassment. Natasha Akpoti has gone to interparliamentary union, and the matter don't reach everyone.
Yeah.
She said that what she expected was just to get fair hearing. Now, that the National Assembly, they focus on the fact, say, she disobeyed laws by not going to the seat which is supposed to sit down. But she, they ask, say, what's it make me no go that seat before? First of all, one, the seat was given to me without prior informing me, say, see your new seat with this. And she has, according to her, proof that she was not prior informed. Secondly, she says she has proof that privileges and other things, where incentives, which she's supposed to get as senator, somehow the Senate president, they deliberately commot them because of, say, he gets interest in her and she refused to succumb to those interests. That if only, say, as she raised the matter to that for that sexual abuse, say, then just tell her, say, okay, we don't hear you. Make you come out. Make Senate president come out. Look for you settle the matter. Say for day good. How do you see this panning out? Because the international, the IPU chairman has said that they would also have to call on Senate president to hear from him before they take a decision. One, do you see an Akpabio obliging to the call by the IPU? Understanding how unanimously the entire National Assembly was in shielding him, if I have to say that, because that looks like what happened. Do you see that happening? Do you see him obliging? Go ahead, sir.
Precious, we're Nigerians, and we've been in the political. We understand Nigerian politics and Nigerian politicians, and for free. No, you don't need to pay. Akpabio will ignore them. And the reason is very simple. They have no hold on him. Interparliamentary Union is a UN organ, out there. They have them. Okay, so you can have that for free. Now, on the issue of Natasha, let me just quickly break it down like this. There are two issues, and we must not mix them up. Very critical. What Akpabio and some people are doing is that they are mixing the two issues. And therefore, of Natasha Akpoti seat reallocation and how she reacted to it. In my opinion, she erred. She was very wrong. The only thing that, look, according to the rules of the Senate, she's not old. According to senators, I've listened to so many senators speak. No senator is given prior notice before your seat is reallocated. It is at the pleasure of the Senate president and the clerk. When you arrive at sitting at a session, on a given day, you check where your name is and you go there. End of story. If you are not happy with it, sit there and then speak. In that sense, Natasha erred. She made a big mistake by raising that ruckus, even if she felt it was being done to her for whatever conversation she might have had with whoever the previous night, for example. She should have gone to the new seat and then complain from there. So for that, she erred, and she should have been put through whatever disciplinary process she was put through. I think a 6-month suspension was rather high-handed, and there's more to it than just the seat allocation problem. But on that, she erred. And if she wants my advice, free of charge again, I'll tell her, apologize for the disorderly conduct that you displayed on the floor of the House regarding the seat. Apologize for that. Now, the second issue is sexual harassment allegations she now brought. And she tabled an official petition on the floor of the House. Second issue. Now, that issue has been swept under the carpet. And that issue is the one that has gone to Interparliamentary Union at the UN. That issue must be addressed properly. She must be given fair hearing by the Ethics and Privileges Committee, and investigation outcome, let her present it. So on that, I believe she deserves fair hearing. She must be heard. The president of the Senate must not be shielded with power, right, might is right, and all those things. We have to avoid that. So let them give her fair hearing. Let her prove her allegations. If she's right, then whatever consequences that there may be, then let whoever is guilty face it. That's my opinion. I think that on the issue of the seat, she should apologize. She did wrong. She was very wrong on that. On the issue of the sexual harassment, she must be heard. If you take the two like that, there won't be any confusion.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shopita. I appreciate you big time for joining us and dropping your thoughts there on the conversation. Barrister, you want to say something quickly before he jumps out?
No, he just said my mind. I don't even need to add to what he has said. You know, because the what he said exactly was my exposition on this particular matter. You know, sentiments and emotions, you know, on this.
But by the way, I just say your president don't congratulate. I say President Tinubu don't congratulate Akpabio for his in scale through the sexual harassment.
Absolutely.
Saga. Wow. Absolutely. That's a good thing.
There is a guy they call Dominic Strauss-Kahn.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm coming. There's a guy that's my brother. If you listen very well, carefully, you see, there is a man they call Dominic Strauss-Kahn. He was, I think, Chris Lagarde, the IMF, head. Now took over
president
from a Dominic Strauss-Kahn. You know, I think it's the IMF. What brought that man down was a lady. The issue, it was a bait that was said. I believe Natasha was used as a bait, you know, to get Akpabio. That's the only thing I want to add to what.
So it was all a setup.
It was a setup.
So if indeed she has evidence that he asked her out, that's the setup.
No, I'm coming. Okay. I'm coming. You see, the question I have asked, and nobody has answered this, is these things did not happen the day the seats issue came on board. They have, which means Natasha has been harboring all these things on her mind, waiting for a particular day that she will now come out and maybe like we usually do like that, disgrace Akpabio. So why did she suddenly now come out to say, the reason why she didn't give me seat allocation shouting on me is because of he's been harassing me sexually. I didn't want to say before. That is childish. In my opinion, it's a big distraction. Look, for now, for instance, now, the National Assembly has not even convened to pass a particular bill after this Natasha issue to the second reading. There are important bills before the National Assembly, but the Natasha issue has covered everything. So the fifth columnists, what the Americans call the filibusters, are at work at the National Assembly. The lobbyists, they've tried their best. But now it's time for the filibusters to come in, destroy the National Assembly,
through Natasha.
Break that code. Yes, through her. That is what I'm saying.
So it was also Natasha and the filibusters that made Joy Nunez accuse him of sexual harassment.
Joy Nunez, whatever, did not attract this kind of hula balloon. Let me use the word.
But this attracted because it's not the first time.
No, it is not so. There are more to it that meets the eye. Many of you will be shocked when Akpabio comes out with his own counter affidavit. Of course, the matter is in court. Akpabio is not saying anything. Akpabio has a counter affidavit to Natasha's affidavit. Until you compare the two, and I'm very happy that the IPU, just like my brother over there said, has no jurisdiction to do anything about it, to even sanction Akpabio as case may be for Nigeria. Yeah, they can only make recommendations. They were so sensible because they found out that this is a very sensitive matter. They said, no, we have heard your part of the story. Let us hear from the other side, which is what equity and good conscience and natural justice talks about. Hear the other side. Many people don't want to hear the side of Akpabio because they already have a colored and jaundiced, fervor and hatred for Akpabio. Just like Aristotle said, that rumors fly faster, against a man that is hated by the public. So people have been looking for everything, just like the way they crucified Christ. I'm sorry we do respect Christ. Oh, crucify him. Because they are looking for a way to nail him. Those who are looking for a way to nail Akpabio use this woman as a bait and prompted her. Oh, I am not saying that sexual harassment I condemn sexual harassment. Let me tell you the truth. Under the VAPP law, Abuja, that is FCT, started in first of all. It was where the law was first implemented and executed. Section 46, also sub 1 of that particular law says if I'm sexually harassed, it's not just only women that are harassed, men are harassed.
Yes.
That if I have been harassed sexually or otherwise, I should go to the nearest court. Why did Natasha, when Akpabio was harassing her, this serial and litanies of harassment, why did Natasha not avail herself of Section 46 of the Violence Against People's, whatever act, then to go to court before this seat issue came up? Why did she not go? Why did she not go there? Natasha and Akpabio are friends. Natasha, husband, and Akpabio are friends. Akpabio is even or was in their wedding and even said his own part of the story that touched the heart that many people.
So why will Natasha's husband be, supporting her right now to pursue this cause?
The reason
that his wife is at home.
The reason, just like Hillary Clinton supported Bill Clinton. What is that? Yeah, Bill Clinton. When that said, when Monica Lewinsky issue came out, the wife said, I am supporting my husband, even though she know in her heart that the Nkruga knows say my husband, so I know, but I'm supporting her. Because in Africa, they say, chase away the fox before you talk to the stubborn, whatever as the case may be. Natasha's husband will not come out to rebuke and reprimand Natasha. Because if he does that, that is the downfall of Natasha. So they are hiding their dirty lenience. They will argue in their bedrooms, as the case may be.
Let me say goodbye to you.
I love what you said, my brother. I align my argument, and you are the first person. I'm saying with due respect. It's not because you are here with me, but you are the first person I've seen align your thought with my own. I don't know Natasha. I don't know Akpabio, but the truth must be said. Emotions must not cover it. That is just my take on this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Shegun.
Well,
I appreciate you.
Precious. So I'll take my leave. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day. But please let Natasha get fair hearing. Sexual harassment. Let her prove it or otherwise.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yes.
If Akpabio can also prove his innocence, very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right.
Enjoy the rest of the
Okay,
evening.
thank you.
All right. So sir, back to us
Yes.
and in the house here and the conversation. So right. So going back to within Wike and all that you do. I don't have to talk Wike matters. So but let's get into other conversations.
Yes.
Now, this is as it's got to do with death of human beings in Nigeria. It'd be like say we need to value lives enough for inside this country. Yesterday, I came across a report and I used it here. How over 900 and something people have been killed through a terrorism-related attack in just January alone. Just January this year alone. Right now, they said about 42 people have been killed in Ondo State, Nasarawa, and Benue State by bandits. That is, and Herdsen and bandits. Now, what is important is that these are not even the core terrain of the bandits. That is, we know, say the core area where the bandits then did are northwest. Abi, the Kadunas of this world, the Katsinas, Sokotos of this world, now then they Abi, Zamfaras of this world. How did they not get to this Benue, Nasarawa, Ondo? These are middle belt and southwestern states. How did they get to these areas to be committing this level of havoc? Why Ibise government never demand fit to do anything about incessant herdsmen attack? The other day, the people of Enugu State, in fact, the women they come protest block crew. So they know they do again. So they know they share boundary with Fulani herdsmen. But yet Fulani herdsmen they let their people rest. Say that from one attack or the other, the Fulani herdsmen have killed over 1,500 people over 150 people have been 1,500 people in their community within the past 5 years. Fulani herdsmen alone, that they've sacked their farms, and then when they complain, they even burn their houses. Why has the federal government found it very difficult to nip the activities in the bud? What's in the thing about cow business? Of what national value is it that the federal government cannot call the owners of this business to order?
Do you know that this herdsman crisis did not start today? It's been there for decades. And each time I travel, around Nigeria, I keep telling people that we are surrounded by the Fulanis, whether you like it or not. I scarcely can find a village in Nigeria today where you cannot see 1 or 2 Fulani herdsmen foraging with their cattle around the farmlands. As a young boy in Edo State, I grew up from my father's farm, backyard or whatever, and I found cows all over the place. The only difference then was that these herdsmen were not as bellicose as they are right now. But you wake up in the morning, you see tents being set up inside the forest. How did they get there? You don't know. There is no village in Nigeria today that you cannot find cattle rearers there. I don't know how they get there. This is a big security question. Even in the big cities of Nigeria, most of those who guard our gates right now are people you don't even know where they come from. Some will tell you they are Nigerians, so will tell you they are Tuaregs. So will tell you they are Fulanis because they speak Hausa and Fulani, so you believe they are together. How did they, in my estate where I stay, there is no single house that does not have 1 or 2, Hausa or Fulani, gate man or somebody working in that compound. I have said that these people have taken over Nigeria with style. We are sleeping, we don't know exactly what's going on. The car pushers today we have in Nigeria today, all over Nigeria, are from a certain section of the country. We don't even know whether they are Nigerians or not. The kind of ferocious power just for wield. They can pull your gate without using a machine to remove whatever there. We have seen viral videos where you see them lifting heavy metals out of buildings with bare hands. These people, are they Nigerians? I doubt. But how did they come into Nigeria, as the case may be? I don't know. A small country like Togo, I went in there, I was holding my small card, walking up and down. Because I was scared. The people to say, the Nigerian people say, hold your small ECOWAS over there in case. But in Nigeria here, nobody can come, black, red, green, human being, whether the
Nobody has
them anything. The moment you have money, do that. I passed through Badagry going to Seme. This was in Lagos about 5 weeks ago. I didn't know that people I was inside the vehicle because of public transport were all Beninois. I never knew. We had more than 50 checkpoints from a place they call Okwafo to Seme. About 80 checkpoints manned by immigration, NDLEA, Nigeria Army, Nigeria Police. Each of the checkpoints we passed, the drivers, I saw they were giving money out. They were giving money out. Then we get that passage and clear and go. I was going to the beach. They give money to the security agencies there. It was when we got to a particular checkpoint where the driver and one of the security officials were arguing with themselves. I will not pay that amount of money. And I said, how many are you carrying? I looked back, I saw 4 people at the back seat and 2 of us. In my mind, I said 6. He now said it's only 3. I have only 3. I didn't understand what he was talking about. It was when that immigration man came and asked a woman close to me and said, let me see your passport. And I asked, what is the meaning of that? He said, this woman looks like a Beninois that is not from Benin. You understand? Immediately, the immigration man said that the driver knew that they have caught him. He immediately gave him the money he requested for. So as we
so that means they know the right thing.
They know the right thing
so
to
that
do.
means our security agents
they collect money.
Our problem.
There is a problem. They collect money. So what I'm trying to say is that the influx of nationals from all over Africa and even from the Caribbeans, from the Sahelian states to Nigeria is alarming. I speak with all sense of humility. I speak with all sense of, honesty and patriotism. I don't have any phobia for them, but it has come to a point where I can tell you that in every conurbation in Nigeria today, you must have a Hausa Fulani person that is doing 1 or 2 things for the other people there. So when you begin to ask questions, how do you now know who are the terrorists? The other day in Edo State, if not for the traditional ruler that was so proactive with the people, a particular, the people invaded the forest with dogs, arms, etc. It was viral. The man gave them 24 hours to leave that place, and they left. It was on video. We have such a thing here. These foreign faces we see with this kind of foreign head that we see, you don't question them. Are you sure in the night they are not the ones who are causing these problems? Are you sure? Because how do you ask the question, how did they get to Ondo? The question I'm asking now is that if you move out of your house now, or move out of your office, move out from wherever you are, you must see at least 3 or 4 people who you know are not Nigerians. And they look like terrorists.
But
what have you done about it?
We've had different national security advisors. What's really their
The reason is they are playing politics. If you look at the national security advisors Nigeria has had, they are all from a particular section of the country. They believe they have the security of Nigeria in their hands. That is why you find that even this administration, you know how to appoint somebody from that area. I want to ask Nigerians to ask them who has been the NSA of some of the presidents we've had in Nigeria today that's from the south. It's very difficult for you to name them. But you can name 3 or 4 that are from the other part of the country. So Nigeria has been colonized. There's no need for us to begin to, put water in our mouths to say this kind of things. There are those who will do this kind of things. They will be arrested. If a particular ethnic group has been profiled to be behind this terrorism in Nigeria, bet you, I'm telling you, that the Nigerian Armory would have been stationed in that particular region to flush them out. But in spite of security reports that come to the Senate, come to them, they do nothing about it. The Nigerian, the Nigerian border, the Malian border, what have they done about it? The Timbuktu triangle around that Borno area, what have they done about it? That this influx and killings happen on a daily basis and nobody is saying anything about it, then there must be something beneath it that is giving them the power to exacerbate the situation. We must have to be frank to ourselves. I am saying that the killings in Ondo, in the southwest, Ondo is not even in the middle belt.
It's not. How about Enugu State?
Enugu State.
How about Enugu State?
So the influence of these people, they're coming out there, people do these things, nobody is talking about because the people are from a powerful ethnic nationality. I'm not trying to inside, but I know is the truth. If a particular ethnic nationality were to be involved in this, you see that they'll open Operation Crocodile Tears and say they want to flush. Look at what is happening in the southeast today. You find out that you have so many operations that have gone there. Operation Damisa, Operation Thunderstrike, Thunderbolt, all in the southeast because they suspect that maybe some youths are clamoring for their own independence, as the case may be. But if the youths of this area were to be the ones doing, that kind of thing, I'm telling you, the whole of the southeast would have been condoned off. So this is the problem we're having. So they must have to do more than expected. That is just my take on all these things.
This is crazy, really. It's really crazy because I don't know how long we'll continue. But for instance, something happened within the week when waiting to the column El Rufai decamp to SDP and somebody asked his son a particular question. Say this one where your papa decamp. Now waiting go happen to all the things where your papa do people for waiting to the column. Waiting your papa do people for the Southern Kaduna and how the killing of people for Southern Kaduna. You won't believe what he had to say, because it was really shocking for me to get those results. I think that's tweet. I hope this is it. I hope that's it. So that's it. That's the message. It says, look at this giraffe calling president because he called President Tinubu Pablo. See what he said? He said conspiracy theories flying about Pablo's former ties with SDP. Then that must mean that they have moles within the party already to sabotage the party. Now he was referring to the president of Nigeria as Pablo Escobar. Who them born well we go fit call Tinubu Pablo, and the person still there within the 4 walls of Nigeria. Now the person responded to him and said something about what would happen to the people that the Southern Kaduna people, and when him and his father face the result of how they killed Southern Kaduna people. See what he had to say. He said the Southern Kaduna people will continue to see shege until they stop disturbing the Fulani, indigenous Fulani people. Please, how did Fulanis become indigenous in Southern Kaduna? That's one question. And then secondly, this kind of statement, should the national advisor, security advisor, not quickly call on this young man and say, come for questioning? If not me, Precious, when you make this statement, will I still be sitting here today?
No.
So what is going on?
What is going on is that there are people that are untouchable in this country. And, El-Rufai reminds me of that group they used to call the Kaduna Mafia.
First of all, is this statement inciting? Let's just be clear.
The statement is very inciting and very insultive and derogatory. That particular statement also, if the president were to be an ordinary citizen, can even, go to his defamatory. When you refer to him as Pablo Escobar, that's drug-related, that's a serious one. So when you call somebody or liken somebody to a Pablo, if I were the one, I'll go to court, to seek redress, because we are trying to say that I do drugs, as the case may be. But El-Rufai's position is known to all of us. He's a religious bigot. And we remember that there was a time we had crisis, somewhere, and during the election time, when observers were to go and observe, he said that there'll be body bags.
Yes.
That'll be taken out.
He said the international observers that they will go back in body bags. When they go back in body.
So when you have people who are primitive in nature,
is that primitiveness?
It's
one of the most intelligent northerners I know.
No, being intelligent, having education does not make you, something that's about primitivity and whatever the case may be. It's primitive and barbaric, and you have people like that in power in Nigeria here today. You ask yourself question, how did they even get there in the first instance? That's the question you want to ask yourself. If not because of that power play, a man like El-Rufai is not the most intelligent person in Nigeria, that he will be banding around and presidents will be scared of him here and there. I don't think so.
I'll go post that message. Maybe
you understand?
And
people see the message. That's a message that is it's a slur. The NSA has to call this man to question. Because you lost political power does not mean that hell will be left loose. Or because you feel that you lost a particular position does not mean that you're now raining on people what you consider as violence and what is not proper before the people. It should be investigated, in my opinion. And I believe that the investigation I'm talking about El-Rufai is that let us find out if he's not complicit in some of these uprisings and skirmishes in the north central, middle belt, etc., and the northwestern region of Nigeria. If he's supporting them, then let him be punished for that, as the case may be.
Okay. All right. Just news breaking out has it that the embattled Speaker Al-Bassar requests deployment of armed NSCDC personnel to Lagos Assembly amid leadership crisis. Waiting to happen for Lagos Assembly. The back and forth. Now, what is the legality of this thing going on in Lagos Assembly? Where you have somebody once impeached because he was accused of fraud. Then he comes back re-elected again as Speaker, and they're not accusing the person who took over after his impeachment of the same fraud. And all the fraud gets to do with billions of naira. When Ibi say they use by backup vehicles. I don't understand. What is happening? The president had a meeting with Obata, Miranda today, in Aso Rock. But what this thing mean to the democracy of Nigeria? This back and forth. This is what happened.
The thing is just what I describe as Nigeria political calisthenics.
Hey, wait.
These are calisthenics.
They do political somersaulting.
So it's just they play that game of calisthenics, and they play that by politics. They play that policy of the Serengeti, which I've always said, politics of survival. So when I see people blame Nyesom Wike at times, I begin to laugh at them. that you feel that Nyesom Wike is only devil in the Nigerian political ecosystem because he's having problems or he wants to control River State, even though I don't like what, talking about controlling that particular state or godfatherism as the case may be. But you have godfathers scattered all over the landscape of Nigeria.
So are you saying that has
in Lagos, let us not put water in the mouth to say Tinubu is a godfather here. Tinubu is the head of the political hierarchy in Lagos here.
In the southwest?
Let me use Lagos because that's where the problem is now. The Lagos is where he is the head of the cabal, the political cabal. You cannot do anything without his good or bad.
So do you think that Wike is trying to replicate? So is it not a problem if Wike is trying to replicate
it's the political system we have.
So should we not adapt it? Should we
mustn't adopt it.
Continue in sin that grace may abide?
No, we must not adopt it, but this is the reality. This is the reality on ground. And what is the reality? In those states, is it not Adam somebody that put the governor there? If you look at, you go to Oyo State, they tell you there's a godfather that brought the president, whoever. Is it Kaduna State? Is it not Rufai that brought the current governor?
Who is now against him?
Who is not? They are fighting too. Do you understand the point now? Now in River State, a man brought. In Lagos State, is it not the same man that is telling you this is the person that should be, this who should not be? I dare say that if President Tinubu, as the head of the political hierarchy in Lagos, is not in support of Obasa, Obasa will not be doing all. He will be gone right now. So for him to leave and now come back, they now say they re-elected him, and under this is happening, means that there's a support from somewhere. He's a political strong man. I know in Lagos State, he's been there for 10 years. If not one of the longest reigning Speaker of the House of Assembly in Nigeria or Africa. I think it's likened to Nancy Pelosi, who spent so many years in the House of Reps in America. So as I speak with you, the Constitution is very clear on who can remove a speaker, a deputy speaker.
So was
Section 1991 and 290 is there.
So was he unconstitutionally removed at the time he was removed? Because that's what he said.
Yeah, at the time he was removed, the 2/3 majority was gotten. Section 92 sub 1 says that if you can gather 2/3 members to remove, he didn't tell you how to remove.
Whether the person is on seat or not.
Whether he said 2/3.
So that means he was already removed.
And once the Constitution says, or a law says this is how a thing should be done, you have to do it just to censor the law says. The law did not say you have to write letter like you write to governor. If you want to impeach a governor, the Constitution is very clear. You write to him and tell him the offenses and gross misconduct that he has committed. The governor has the right to respond.
Reply.
Then if you do that, CJ will not come in as the case may be. There's a process for it. But under the Constitution, I didn't see the process of the removal of a speaker. What I saw there was that once the speaker, because they are the ones that appointed him, it is 2/3 that they will use to get a speaker, 2/3 to remove him, 2/3 to get deputy speaker, 2/3 to remove him. So it didn't tell us the process. So if the law says once you get 2/3, you remove the person, whether you serve him letter or whatever, is not part of the constitutional provision. The extant laws is what you're going to follow. What they are talking about, they are talking about fair hearing now. I look at those who are talking about fair hearing. They are talking about fair hearing now. So a big man is involved now. They're talking about fair hearing. But the young boy who was sent to prison for stealing fowl in the market, you didn't even allow him to
10 years.
For 10 years, you didn't allow him to have fair hearing.
So what do we do about our laws?
You understand? The laws is that the Nigerian law is made for two classes of people. It's the only country in the world that I see that we have two criminal justice systems operating. India, as large as it is, I one of the biggest democracy, has one unitary system of criminal jurisprudence. But in Nigeria, we have two systems.
The penal code, the criminal code.
And we even make it the Sharia law again. If you add the Sharia, make it 3. Because Sharia operates somewhere. You commit a crime in body, they can amputate your hand.
And that's different from the penal code.
It's that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
The penal code does not say you have to be amputated. There is what we call Hadi Lashi. Hadi Lashi is a Sharia code for punishment. If I commit a light offense, instead of them sending me to go and spend 1 week in prison, they say they lie me down and they flog me in the marketplace, 30 strokes of the cane. It's a Sharia code. It's been practiced in the North. So when you have situations of this nature, you ask yourself. And that is why you see the law always favor the bourgeois and the plutocrats who are marauding, having the Nigerian political ecosystem traveling and trying to manacle the rest of us. It becomes an aberration. Because if the speaker say, I didn't get, look at the person saying he didn't get fair hearing. I look at this, look at the man saying he didn't get fair hearing. So he now ran to Federal High Court. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, now Federal High Court is so active. Within 2 minutes, they are delivered order. But the Adams fight that fundamental human rights matters before the court. It's taking about 6 months for them to even deliver an interim order. So what kind of government and what kind of democracy are we practicing? This is the problem we have in Nigeria. And that is why we will keep suffering. When these rich people begin to say they don't have fair hearing, ask the question. The Constitution never say that you have to get fair. It only said that tutor is what is there to remove you. I am asking, is one man not bigger than the Constitution of Nigeria? That's the question we're asking ourselves. It's an aberration. This is shibboleth. This is perfidious, as the case may be. I feel so sad when I discuss matters of this nature in Nigeria today. But I want to look at it, I say, for democracy as we practice, it is not even democracy. This is not democracy. At worst, plutocracy or mobocracy. Because a lot of people are mobsters. The court will decide. Some people will tell you, we are not going to obey that court order. Election must go on. So are we running a darky? Even Pakistan that runs a darky doesn't even operate like this. They respect the rule of law. So I really don't understand where we got our own so-called democracy from. It's a miasma. It's something I cannot really understand. So these are the things we look at. If a man was not supporting Obasa, he cannot begin to do things he's doing today. He cannot begin to come and tell you, you cannot remove me. Can you imagine? You say you cannot remove me. Whereas the Constitution that brought you there said, these people are the ones that can put you there.
So what does it mean?
And they can also take you. When you say you cannot, it means you are bigger than.
And then he was not removed. He was still reinstated. So what does that mean?
So if you have the powers that Obasa has at his back, then you become an alpha and omega.
Hey.
That is it.
That means you don't have a democracy.
I'm telling you the truth. Okay,
so let's move to another very quick issue. This has got to do with Peter Obi. News just carry up and down. Say an aide to presidential aide to the president, Amaewhule, insinuates that Peter Obi would likely join APC. Apologies. So I had a guest earlier in the week who stated that if APC dare promise Peter Obi say they will give him ticket, say must go, say go APC. Do you see Peter Obi really joining APC? Should he be promised the ticket? Now we're speaking from the level of integrity and what the kind of politics we practice in Nigeria.
For me, Peter Obi as a man, as a human being, I supported during the 2023 elections. If it's that same Peter Obi I have today, he may not go. But the Peter Obi of today, I cannot really say.
Is there a difference between?
There's a big difference now because of the fact
that
tenaciously stood, with the vision and mission of the labor movement and our party then.
Okay.
You found out that people whom I thought were behind him and were iron cast supporters, like Aisha Yusuf, my own elder sister, and people like the actor Kenneth Okonkwo, etc., as the case may be, and some other people were there, have all left Labour Party because and having issues with the Labour Party.
But they did not mention the fact that it was because of his integrity. They did say
integrity,
that what's his name, Kenneth Okonkwo. He mentioned that it's because Tinubu is not playing politics in the Nigerian. Sorry, Peter Obi does not play politics in the Nigerian way. That he's too gentlemanly.
Well,
and Aisha Yusuf hasn't spoken anything about the personality.
We are not talking about integrity of Peter Obi. See, why I'm saying this is this. I thought that a P2B cannot begin to go and meet a man like Atiku that they don't share the same political ideals and ideology.
He was his runner-up at some point.
At some point, he met, something happened, they parted ways again. and something is not happening, they say they are meeting again.
So that means that way would have been parted forever.
Yeah. No, when I'm not, yes, the way should be parted forever. I'm saying so. Because when you don't have the same ideology with the same with you, I don't have any business with politics. I can't do it with you. That's why it's in the US, you see, I am a Republican, I remain it forever.
Trump was once a Democrat.
He is a Democrat, but when he realized,
he became a Republican.
When he realized that this were not going well, he had to cross. And that is a very few example. I've never seen multiplicity of the Trumps that we have today that have slept and defected, as the case may be. When people say it was, who was he as at that time? Trump is a transactional politician.
Like Nigerian politicians.
Yes, you can't even say Trump has ideology. Trump is transactional. It is what I'm going to get. That is where he goes to. Where will I get this thing to better my life? In politics, he goes there. He does not have ideology. Cast in stone, like other people, as the case may be. I want to see people like Obafemi or Awolowo in Nigeria today that will say, I remain resolute. This is where I stand. These are my principles. I remain like that. P2B is of that mode. Let me be kind and charitable. You know, to him is somebody I followed, and I did a lot of things, you know, audio on him, and I believe he has not changed. But if they offer him a position as presidential candidate of APC, which I know it will be easier for the head of the camel to pass through the eye of the needle for APC to even give him that ticket, because of the hawks around there, I doubt if he will move.
All right. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Quickly, you can do well to join us in the conversation. The link is on the pinned post, and also the number to call is on the pinned post. So if you want to join the conversation, please quickly do that. But let me just take some reactions very quickly. Obedoji here says, no, sir, he is still the Peter Obi, you know. He is a very principled person. He will never join this high, what do you call it? High Haga political.
Higgy Haga.
Okay, Higgy Haga political. Sorry, it's a bit far from me. Higgy Haga political party. That's what he said. And who else said this? Nathaniel Abu says, now why for this man? Oh, Labour Party is not the same as obedient movement. Till tomorrow, every right-thinking person at the moment knows that P2P is hope. Nigerian political party is a vehicle. So do you not believe that maybe he's just hobnobbing for the sake of an SPV, not because he really believes in their own political ideology?
Like what he's talking about obedience, I believe I understand what he's talking about. We were part of the obedient movement in River State. I know what I'm talking about. I am there, and I had to join Labour Party because of P2B as SPV. Now, talking about the politics, P2B has said it, even when they asked, there was an interview he granted, and he said any particular platform that will bring goodies, good government and governance for the people of Nigeria, for them to enjoy, that he belongs to that particular whatever.
And he also did mention that it's not about to grab power, but the place of the people.
That's you understand. So any place that he feels it's not just to go and get power there, but he feels that if he gets in there, that the welfare of Nigerians will better, assured of that he's ready to go.
All right, thank you. So I take this message of blessing. She says, Nigeria does not exist. We do not have a country. No, we do have a country, technically, even though not practically. Technically, allow me to use technicality.
Absolutely.
Oyeka says, Barrister, you again. Good evening, Pre and Barrister. Waiting Barrister. Waiting Barrister to you, Oyeka. John Terry says, please help. Please, they should share this program. Oh, thank you, John. What did I do to deserve this love? Stop it. I like it. Thank you so much. Who again here? John says you can't run government with 3 House members. Abi? Okay, you can, he says. The flagship says, do you think if Natasha had done what you were suggesting now, that this 10th Senate would have done the right thing and given her fair hearing and treated this matter justly? Honestly speaking, I don't know what Barrister is going to say, but I do not think they would have done it. I don't think I don't know. Find a reason
for me, I don't know.
She not do anything.
The Senate, right. For me, the Senate is not my baby. The Senate is, I'm not a supporter of the National Assembly. I say, oh, is it 10th Assembly they call it, or whatever it's case may be?
Yes, 10th Assembly.
It's a house of comedy. I've said it before. It's not that this one is being polarized in this particular instance at, to the detriment of the Nigerian people. That is what worries me. You see, people think I support Akpabio, whatever as case may be. I'm just being realistic about my thoughts, as case may be. I don't know Natasha, I don't know Akpabio, but this is a distraction in place of where we should. Nigerians are going through, serious, debilitating and very palpable hunger.
But House of Rep are passing laws now.
And nobody is talking about how to bring the price of pepper down.
Sir, but let me tell you something.
DSTV, I'm sort of using the word, is running roughshod. The economy, nobody is doing any whatever. As the case, we're talking about sexual harassment issues here and there. Well, I don't know. Price of fuel is still at something hovering around. Nobody's talking anything about it in the Senate. The roads are bad. Herdsen killing people on a daily basis. They can't pass a bill to the president to sign to rejig the security architecture of Nigeria. We are hungry in a country of so much fertile land and no direct laws to enhance this. So it's a country of circles. It's a senate of circles. And I made a statement, I said, when the king is a jester, like you have with the Senate and House of Reps, the moment the king is a jester, the house becomes a circus. That is why you talk about the ship might sit. The next time you hear that somebody said, the cloth I wear, you say no like them. Then it becomes a problem to begin to argue about.
They already complain about Natasha clothes.
About clothes again.
But they won't say you say some laws, they go on.
They'll say the pancake he rub on her face is too. Is that what we should be talking about?
All right, so, but the House of Representatives in the past place. Yesterday, they stopped all in your sites. All the sites where they go use the show, all those things. So maybe they stop up on Nigeria. That's laws. So that they're working.
They are working in the negative way. They are taking.
How is that?
Can you imagine? So they want their whatever. People are funny.
All right. Akika says, Mr. Sam, why are you telling us about Fubara now? Why have you held back all this while? Who's Mr. Sam now? Okay, I see him. That's what he's trying to say. Happiness in those expressions. Do you always bring? I will bring Barrister Adams, one of the most intelligent barristers I know. Please, he's one of the most intelligent barristers I know. Clinton Dunbury says, "Precious, stop bringing. I'll bring. It's not a political job. It's just because you don't know him and understand.
Yes,
that's why you say that. Well, Barrister, I want to say big thank you to you. Yes, for joining me and helping me enlighten Nigerians.
Yes,
it's a big pleasure to have you join me. I do hope that by Friday we'll have a better pool house.
We are going to come on Friday.
Okay,
that's right.
And then we'll also make out. I like us to also make out time to educate Nigerians on the Constitution because I want to make that a duty.
Yes.
Just like you mentioned some time ago in another forum, Nigerians don't understand the Constitution enough. And I think it is the place of Nigerians to know their rights through the Constitution. Even though they would think say the Constitution no they good.
Yes,
but the small one way they inside, how much you understand that?
A lot of Nigerians are ignorant.
I think we should do that.
A lot of them are very ignorant. Some of them are just hiding under the canopy of their little phones in the house and to jab out, gibberish and ignorance all over the place. But I want to tell you something one day. Instead of you talking about Akpabio and the rest, go and pick your constitution and read it and know your laws. You don't need you buy data every day, 1,000, 3,000 to do whatever, to browse, reply Natasha and Akpabio, whatever. But you can't buy your constitution 5,000 naira to know your rights and know your left from your right. That's just what I wish all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I do hope that you would make our time once in
a while. Of course, we'll do that.
To enlighten Nigerians on the Constitution.
We're going to do that, yes.
I appreciate you. Barrister Adams, Asim Adams is, Asim Adams Esquire, is a constitutional lawyer. As you can see from the conversation, he's very sound and you know well our law. You know, please and clear. I appreciate you for joining us. Nigerians, thank you so much for being part of the show. I appreciate you and I love you guys. I see you again tomorrow, God willing. I have somebody new joining me tomorrow. He himself stubborn where he's happy talk politics. Go. You would love and enjoy him. My name is Precious Thingy. Let's continue to talk for the development of our country because when we stop talking, it's when we start dying. In fact, we'll still they talk, we'll still they die. Can't talk about no can't talk again. So I'm not gonna try, no could they talk. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you and God bless you. Good night.